Welcome back. In part 1, we talked about Yerba Mate's incredible journey, how it went from a sacred Guarani leaf to a cultural icon across South America and even beyond. We covered the history, the rituals, the celebrities, and why it matters so much culturally. But now, let's flip the gourd and look at the other side of the story. What actually happens in your body when you drink mate? What does the science say? Is it healthy? Are there risks? And why is it suddenly showing up everywhere in the US, from grocery store shelves to gyms? That's what we're breaking down in this episode. So, first things first, the chemistry. People often describe mate as having the energy of coffee, the smoothness of tea, and the mood boost of chocolate. And guess what? That's not just poetic, it's real. And it comes down to 3 specific compounds. Number 1, caffeine. That's the classic one we all know. It sharpens focus, increases alertness, helps you concentrate. A typical cup of mate has around 80 milligrams of caffeine, so it's right in the same range as a cup of coffee. Number 2, theobromine. That's the main stimulant in cacao, which is why chocolate gives you that subtle lift. Theobromine is gentler than caffeine, it lasts longer, and it also works as a vasodilator. It relaxes your blood vessels and as a muscle relaxant. That's why mate energy feels smoother and less edgy. And number 3, theophylline. That's the one you also find in tea. It has a mild stimulant effect, but its main role is as a bronchodilator. It relaxes the muscles in your airways, which literally helps you breathe easier. Put them all together and you get this balanced, steady, jitter-free energy. Unlike coffee where caffeine dominates, mate's effects are spread out across 3 compounds that balance each other. That's why people consistently describe it as clear, calm energy. And by the way, if you've ever heard someone say matane, that's a myth. There's no special, unique stimulant. It's just caffeine, theobromine, and theophylline doing their thing in harmony. But it's not just stimulants. Mate is also loaded with nutrients. It's packed with antioxidants, especially polyphenols like chlorogenic acid, which you also find in coffee. These help neutralize free radicals in the body, which means they might protect against cellular damage and chronic disease. It's also got saponins. These are bitter compounds that have anti-inflammatory properties and may even help lower bad cholesterol. Fun fact, they're also what create that foamy layer on top of a freshly poured mate. Then you've got vitamins, A, C, E, and a whole range of B vitamins. Minerals too, calcium, magnesium, potassium, manganese, zinc, selenium. There was even a famous French study that once said mate has practically all the vitamins necessary to sustain life. Now that's an exaggeration, but you get the point. It's nutrient dense. So what are the benefits? Well, let's start with the obvious one, energy. Mate gives you a sustained, focused lift without the anxiety or crash that often comes with coffee. That's why students, creatives, and athletes love it. Speaking of athletes, many use it for performance. It reduces fatigue, sharpens focus, and keeps energy levels steady during training or games. Then there's weight management. A lot of people report that mate suppresses appetite and thirst. Some studies also suggest it boosts metabolism and fat oxidation. It's not a miracle weight loss cure, but it can be a helpful tool. And because of the antioxidants and saponins, there's early evidence that regular mate drinking might support cardiovascular health, lower cholesterol, and strengthen the immune system. But it's not all good news. We have to talk about the risks. First, caffeine is still caffeine. Too much can cause insomnia, anxiety, or an upset stomach. If you're sensitive to it, you'll want to moderate your intake. The bigger controversy is the link between heavy mate consumption and cancer. Some studies have shown that drinking huge amounts, like 1 to 2 liters a day over decades, can increase the risk of cancers in the mouth, throat, and esophagus. But here's the catch. It's not the leaf itself. The risk comes from 2 external factors. One is the traditional practice of drying mate leaves over wood fires. That can leave behind carcinogenic compounds called PAHs, the same ones found in cigarette smoke and charred meat. Many modern brands now offer air-dried, unsmoked mate, which drastically reduces this risk. The second factor is temperature. Drinking any very hot liquid above about 158 degrees Fahrenheit repeatedly damages the tissues in your throat and esophagus. That's why heavy, long-term consumption of scalding hot mate is risky. The good news? You can avoid both issues by choosing air-dried brands and using hot but not boiling water. For most people, moderate daily mate drinking, say 1 or 2 cups a day, is considered safe. So let's compare mate to the drinks Americans already know. Coffee has about 95 milligrams of caffeine in 8 ounces, strong roasted flavors, and it gives you a sharp spike with a potential crash. Green tea has 30 to 50 milligrams of caffeine, grassy flavor, and a calming effect thanks to L-theanine. Mate sits in the middle, around 80 milligrams of caffeine, earthy and grassy with sometimes smoky notes, and that smooth, steady energy. So if coffee's too jittery and green tea's too mild, mate might be that perfect middle ground. Okay, let's switch gears and talk about the US market, because mate isn't just a cultural ritual anymore. It's a booming industry. Globally, the mate market was valued around $2 billion in the early 2020s, and projections say it'll hit $3 billion or more by the 2030s. Growth rates are solid, around 5 to 7% annually. And the US is a huge part of that growth, making up about 70% of North American demand. Why is it growing so fast? Because Americans are looking for natural energy alternatives. They're moving away from sugary sodas and chemical-packed energy drinks. They want functional beverages, drinks that don't just hydrate but actually deliver benefits. Mate fits perfectly. It's marketed as clean energy, with antioxidants, nutrients, and no crash. Who's buying it? The biggest group is young adults, ages 18 to 30. They make up nearly half the global market. For them, it's a natural alternative to Red Bull or Monster, and they prefer the ready-to-drink cans. Convenience is everything. Then there's the 30 to 40 crowd, about a third of the market. They tend to be more health-focused, buying organic, loose-leaf mate, often from specialty or health food stores. And then there's a growing niche among fitness enthusiasts. In North America, about a third of gym-goers are now using mate as a natural pre-workout drink. Sales channels are shifting too. While supermarkets and retail still matter, online sales are exploding. In fact, in North America, e-commerce accounts for up to half of all mate purchases. Now, here's what makes the US market fascinating. It's actually 2 different markets in one. On one side, you've got the pragmatists. They want energy, convenience, and familiar flavors. They buy cans from brands like Guayaki, sweetened, carbonated, flavored, basically a natural energy soda. On the other side, you've got the ritualists. They want authenticity. They buy loose-leaf mate, use gourds and bombillas, and care about tradition. For them, it's about culture as much as caffeine. Brands are constantly trying to innovate, new flavors for the pragmatists, traditional blends for the ritualists, even supplements and cosmetics made with mate extract. So what do American consumers actually say? Online reviews give us some clues. The number one positive, that unique feel. People consistently describe mate as energized but calm, sustained energy without jitters, sometimes even euphoric. Many users back up the health claims too. They talk about appetite control, better focus, less anxiety, even improved sleep. And for those with South American heritage, the ritual itself feels comforting and deeply nostalgic. But there are downsides. New users often hate the taste at first. They call it bitter, grassy, or like dirt water. The preparation can feel like a hassle if you're not invested in the ritual. Some people report heartburn or anxiety, usually because of caffeine sensitivity. And with loose-leaf mate, a common complaint is too much powder, which makes it muddy and clogs the straw. So let's run through a quick FAQ. How does the caffeine effect differ from coffee? Mate has about the same caffeine, but the theobromine and theophylline smooth it out, so you get energy without jitters or a crash. What's the best way for a beginner to try? Honestly, a canned drink is easiest. Guayaki is everywhere. If you want a more authentic experience, start with a mild Argentine brand in a French press. Is it safe to drink every day? For most healthy adults, yes, 1 to 2 cups daily is fine as long as you choose unsmoked mate and don't use boiling water. What should you look for when buying? Pay attention to origin and cut style, whether it's smoked or unsmoked, and what form it comes in, loose leaf, bags, or cans. And does it help with weight loss and focus? Yes, there's good evidence for both, but it's not a magic bullet. Think of it as a supportive tool alongside healthy habits. So where does that leave us? Yerba Mate is a drink of contrast. It's ancient, yet modern. It's communal, yet individual. It's a symbol of national identity in South America and a rising wellness trend in the US. Scientifically, it offers a unique stimulant blend and impressive nutrients. Culturally, it's loaded with meaning, and commercially, it's growing fast, splitting into 2 audiences, those who value tradition and those who just want clean energy in a can. At the end of the day, mate bridges worlds. Whether you're sipping it from a shared gourd with friends in Buenos Aires, Argentina, or cracking open a can before hitting the gym in Los Angeles, you're part of a story that connects people across centuries. And that's what makes yerba mate so special. It's not just a drink, it's an experience, a ritual, and now a global phenomenon. So what do you think? Would you swap your coffee for mate? Would you go full tradition with a gourd and bombilla, or keep it simple with a can? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.